Hey, what's up everyone? What do you say we do a Thin Line Defense Christmas special? Where each member of the team shows you their top 5 things they got in 2022. And let's actually make it funny, and we'll do like the top 4 things we love and then the top 1 thing we just hated. Alright though, let's get started. So as I said, I'll share the top 4 things that I loved in 2022, along with the number 1 thing that I hated. But when I say I dislike literally anything, it makes people on the internet super angry. And then after I share my thoughts, I'll pass the torch over to the other TLD members to see what their favorites were and which ones they disliked the most. Alright though, let's get started with my list. In number 4, I'm working backwards to number 1. You gotta be patient. In number 4, I have the EOTech G45 magnifier. This guy really impressed me when I had the opportunity to compare some really high-end magnifiers. From the packaging to the flip mount to the eye relief, you can tell there was a lot of attention to detail in getting this one right. The 5x magnification of the G45 at the same or better eye relief really gives you a lot more functionality than the other 3x magnifiers that I was more familiar with. And a 5x magnifier really wasn't on my radar until I used it, and now I really wouldn't look back. Alright though, let's keep this list moving. In number 3, I have the Pulsar Axion 2 XG35 LRF. This was the thermal used in a lot of our thermal hide testing, and I was really blown away with the results and the fact that this whole thing just fits in a side cargo pocket. This is the thermal that made all that testing possible, and I really like how those thermal hide videos turned out. I also got some cool footage, and the Axion 2 adds an array of capabilities that I didn't have previously from both a tactical and gear testing standpoint. I'm also realizing right now that you haven't seen that video yet, but you will, and it's awesome. Alright, let's keep the list going. In second place, I have my L3 Harris Thin Film PVS-14 Night Vision from TNVC. I really love the device and all the products included by TNVC, and I really recommend this company for anyone getting into night vision. The L3 PVS-14s just offer this huge functionality to the warfighter, and they really add an entire mission set that you really don't have without them. R14s also opened up a lot of capabilities in terms of gear testing under nods and the ability to test illuminators and their output. And now having night vision, I'd honestly recommend to most people to save up for those instead of some other products, just due to the sheer capabilities that it brings to you. Alright, now we have my number 1, and I actually cheated a little and I have 2 scopes. And hilariously, I haven't shown you either of these yet. In first place are 2 of my favorite scopes this year with the Primary Arms PLX 1-8 and the Zerotech Trace Advanced 3-18. And I did want to just pick one scope, but they both dominate their field so well from both the LPVO and the mid-range optic field. And you'll see these soon, but the Primary Arms PLX-C gives you an insanely impressive LPVO in an ultra lightweight package. The controls on the entire unit are incredible and just show off what a top tier LPVO can do when you have both functional 1x and 8x settings. Combine that with the powerhouse Griffin and Raptor M8 meters reticle, and you really have something a bit insane in this tiny package. But then we move over to the mid-range and find this crazy 3x18 with the Zerotech Trace Advanced. I've fallen in love with this mid-range optic with its insane glass tier and incredibly short magnification throw. Combined with the LR Hunter reticle, you have some easy and quick engagement at pretty much any range. And I think you're all gonna love these optics, but that's my 4 favorite things. Well, 5 technically. So what is my least favorite thing from this year? Well, it's anything from GBRS. And that's coming from a guy wearing a bear coat. I have all this gear and shirts and crap that I just keep in a box to sell at this point. Whatever they stand for isn't really anything I want to be a part of. And I'd feel like the biggest idiot wearing that stupid hoodie outside. I'm pretty embarrassed at this point that I even own it, and I can't wait till it's all gone. But I also don't like the hats with the big stupid F on them either. Alright though, so that's my list. Let's kick this over to Jason and see what his favorites were for this year.
Merry Christmas, everyone. In keeping with what we've discussed on our Thursday Night Live chats, we'll stay on track with our 4 favorite things we bought or received in 2022 and the one thing we can't stand. And we'll go in ascending order here, which means we'll start with number 4. Number 4 is my Canon M50. Prior videos I recorded for the channel were just recorded on my cell phone. I like the ability to manually focus on things I wanted to show off, and this camera is really just expanding my capabilities. In terms of content I can create for you. And it definitely has capabilities I haven't reached yet, but there we go with number 4. Now, number 3 surprised Walsh when I mentioned to him what it was going to be. The Olight iMini has been a favorite of mine and my wife's since I bought it. And I bought it as kind of a fluke. My wife needed a new keychain flashlight, and this was a new one that I hadn't seen Olight offer before, and so I decided to pick one up. I have the i1R EOS on my keychain, and it's been okay. But this iMini has kind of been a game changer for my wife and I in terms of keychain flashlights. For example, with my i1R EOS, if I want to use it, I'm taking my whole keychain with me. For the iMini, keychain stays right where you may want it to be. And I found this extremely useful in situations where I don't want to turn off the car to go check something with my flashlight. Where I live, there's no light post over where we get the mail. And so we might pull up, leave the car running. I can just pull this flashlight off, use it to light my mailbox and get my mail. Just convenient things like that. Now, it's not rechargeable, but in my mind, the pros here outweigh the cons. Now, number 2 is something you have seen on the channel before. My Palmetto State Armory AK-47. It's not very often that gun enthusiasts get to try out a whole new genre of firearms. Now, some people might say, well, semi-automatic rifle is a semi-automatic rifle. But this was an extremely exciting addition to my collection, partly because I never even fired an AK before this. And yes, you'll see some upgrades over the stock version I showed off in my initial video. And yes, we'll do a more thorough follow-up video kind of highlighting some of these upgrades I put in. I'm not finished yet, so stay tuned. Now, number 1 may not surprise any of our live chat viewers. You guys will probably know what this one is. That's right. It's my Israeli Weapons Industries Masada Slim. Now, IWI sent this to me to be an optics test platform for our micro pistol red dot series that we're doing. But it's turned into my EDC and is just an absolute joy to shoot. Add on the fact that they removed those 2 rear lugs in the optics footprint area. So not only can you use RMS shield footprints, you can also add Holosun EPS carry and 507KX2 to this bad boy. And that's pretty awesome. All right, the thing I can't stand that I bought in 2022 is, well, it's a thing. The Thing 1 from Spirited Systems. To be frank, I thought Walsh was kind of an a-hole in his Thing 1, Thing 2 video. It made it look like I was watching some terrible infomercial. Now, don't get me wrong, it was still funny to watch, but I couldn't pass judgment on an item that I never owned before. And I wasn't brave enough to cut it up like Walsh did, so I ended up buying this Thing 1, Thing 2 plate carrier adapter that Tracer Tactical makes. But honestly, that kind of highlighted one of the main issues with this thing. It's just a poorly designed product. Any other placards that I have give you the option to remove the backing on the back of it so you can attach it into your plate carrier. But the way to design this, they are kind of forcing you into a niche that people just don't want. Hey, is that why the Thing 1 isn't sold anymore? Newsflash, yes. But that's it from not me. Let's head on over and see what Joe's hands have to show us.
All right, so top 4 things that I received here that I liked, and the one thing that I absolutely didn't. Number 4 is going to be my toolbox at work. I really like it, and I needed it for work. Here's some photos. Number 3, the Ruger Precision Rifle chambered in 17 HMR. It is a groundhog slayer, and I absolutely love this rifle so far. Besides the safety select lever, that thing sucks. Number 2, you all know that this had to be coming. So here's number 2, my Springfield Prodigy. I haven't even shot it yet, and it's still the second favorite thing on the list. I don't really care. I love the 1911. I love the 2011 concept. So, yeah, even without shooting it, it's number 2 on my list. And number 1 definitely has to be my car. If you know anything about me, you knew this was going to be the number 1. So, least favorite thing is a two-way tie. It's got to be the Olight foregrip thingy, whatever. Hated that thing. And the Holosun 407K. I don't know where all the hype is with this. I know that not Jason and Walsh really like the Holosun. Me, with this one particularly, did not like it at all. Got the fishbowl effect. Don't like it at all. So if I had to pick one, I would guess the Holosun because it costs more and I expected more of it.
So that's all the favorites from the team, but there is one big overall favorite from all of us at the team that I definitely want to mention. I'm going to warn you, it's about to get a little cheesy. And that's because that favorite is all those companies that worked with us this year and gave TLD a chance and afforded us the opportunity to show off some of their gear. From defense mechanisms to HRT to EOTech and Pulsar. You all saw the potential in our team and we're incredibly thankful for the companies we work with and the great relationships that we have with all of you. And to all our viewers out there, we want to say a very big Merry Christmas or Merry Spaghetti Monster, whatever you celebrate, to you and your families from the entire TLD team. But if you stayed this long, maybe you want some teasers as to what to expect in 2023. Let me see if I can show what we're trying to make happen without the other TLD guys noticing. Keep an eye out for content on the Pulsar Duo, EOTech clip-on night vision on our long-range setup. God, what did we do to that thing? Night vision illuminator comparisons with the D-Ball D2 and Designate IRV, along with flashlight comparisons with the Rain 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0 versions. And that's just the stuff that I know about, so it's going to be an exciting year. Plus, we also have SHOT Show in January, so there's going to be a ton of cool stuff happening. But as always, I want to say thanks to all of our Patreon supporters and all of our YouTube members. You make all this possible, and you make such a great community that I love to be part of. And I want to say, let's try that again. And I want to say thanks to everybody that likes, comments, and subscribes. Let me know down in the comment what your favorite things were in 2023 that we showed off in our videos. All right, everyone, Walsh out. Airplanes. Keep an eye out for content on the Pulsar That train. What? Am I gonna say anything about the coat? What coat?